Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News. Now the pleasure to be joined by the captain, Finlay James. Finlay, September the 7th, Top Tier Media Day. We're here, mate.
I know, we're getting there now. We've got a few more weeks to go. It's nice to be back up and running. I feel like I don't stop. Like, I fight, have a couple of weeks off, I'm back in and we just keep wrapping it round. But I think when you don't take a lot of damage and you're young and fresh, it's the best thing to be doing at this age, just getting in, getting out there, getting active.
It definitely is, mate. Let's talk about your last fight on the Neilson TM14 10v10. That's a bit of a mouthful, Neilson Boxing. You need to shorten that down. But I mean, yeah, good performance from yourself on a fight night where I mean, your trainer there was a clash of shows. Mark Tibbs was with Johnny Fisher, but you just mentioned you had a certain Tommy Fletcher in your corner. I mean, talk to me about your previous fight, mate.
Do you know what? Like, I always think no matter what's going to happen in this game, like, I'm in a busy stable and I probably don't get the first pickings, but what can you do? And you've all got to be professional about your job and you've got to move on with things. So I wasn't fazed. I was still enjoying the fight and I was still going to go and do the business now whether there was no one in the corner or if there was 100 people there. So it was good. It was lovely to have a familiar face. Tom was with us. Like I said to you, I think Tommy Fletcher had a better night than me that night. I turn around at the end of the fight and he's sitting there dancing in the corner. I'm like, Tom, you're handing up to me. Like, come on, son. But no, it was a great fight. Absolutely battered the poor mush. His eye was blasted by the end of it, and I think I only used one hand. So I think now I've showed that I'm a good tactician and I know that I can get myself around the ring. So I think now it's time to start getting a little bit more spiteful, a little bit more horrible, and getting into these people and start showing them what I'm about a little bit.
Definitely as well. Is that kind of what you've been obviously Mark and Jimmy Tibbs they've been installing into it in your camp since then?
Yeah, we've been having the conversations about it recently, and I think that's just where we're thinking to go next. Is I've kind of tactically and what I can do defensively and offensively is perfect. I just need to change my mindset a little bit now and start coming away from having a safety mindset and start coming in to do some damage and being horrible and spiteful to these people.
Definitely. Well, we look forward to seeing it on September the 7th. I mean, it's why we're here at in Grays, I think we are.
Yes, yeah, we're down Stifford today, local to me, to be fair. I grew up down the road, so it's nice to come back and this is a good environment for me. I work in Man's Club. This is a proper environment for me. I like it in here. When there's a sticky carpet and a couple of tables around, yeah, so had a proper night out.
It definitely is. It reminds me of a few of my granddad's parties. God bless him, when he was alive. Kind of wedding anniversaries. They're all in places like this. It's class. But no, we're here. Media Day, September 7th. Change of scenery for yourself. Top tier as well. I mean, but excited to fight on Johnny Clark's show live on DAZN as well, mate.
I know, it's good, isn't it? I've known Johnny and his wife Charlotte for 10 plus years now. Like, I knew John before he even spoke about boxing, and I've seen him when he first spoke about becoming a promoter, and then he started making it happen. He was going for his licenses and that. Then he put a show on. I went down there and I was like, you know what, he's on to something here. He's worked out a little corner in the market, and I think what he's done is really well. He's brought that main event feel to the small hall, and he's giving the fighters the attention that some of these good fighters deserve. There's some fighters on this show that are better than some fighters that have big platforms. I'm not out to name names, ain't my type of business, but we all know it's a fact. Like, there's no point beating around the bush, and I think sometimes it is unfair that them fighters don't get the light shown on them. So what I think he's doing here, like you say, down here, media days, giving them people a chance to at least tell their story and at least put it out there to the people.
No, definitely as well. And obviously September the 7th, I've been saying this to a lot of the fighters who I've interviewed today. Where this fight is on DAZN, it's definitely an audition for you guys. Obviously, some of you guys are teamed up with promoters, some of you guys aren't, but it's an audition to if an Eddie Hearn or a Matchroom or Queensbury, they're watching live on DAZN, or it's a global outlook, they could be watching and go, I want Finlay James on this stable. It's a very much an audition process for yourself on September the 7th.
Yeah, definitely, but I look at every fight. For me, every fight's like that, 'cause it has to be. Like, where I want to end up and where I want to push, every fight's an audition for me. So that's why I always try and look as crisp and as clean as I can, and when I get on the microphone, I have something to say about it. So I think it's nice, like I say, we're on DAZN, we're live. Hopefully, like I say, you've mentioned some good names there, boys. Tune in, like, I'll be about, and I promise you I'm all right. So yeah, it's going to be good, and like you say, an audition phase for us all. There's fighters on this show that are signed to them big platforms, which I think shows boxing is in a really, really healthy place, that these big promoters aren't afraid to let their fighters box elsewhere and gain experience, and then come back on their shows and be better than what they would be if they've chucked them on there with no experience. So I think it's showing that the promoters are getting a bit more maturer and a little bit less anger at each other, and boxing's in a nice healthy place in the UK.
No, definitely as well. And Finlay, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you, to be honest. From your last fight, I saw the nice, crisp Chelsea blue colours on your shorts, and I thought it was going to stay. But then I remembered you're a West Ham fan. You only done it out of the nicest of your heart, mate. I was getting a bit excited. I thought I'd converted you, but I haven't. I mean, what's going on? What was going on there? You sold me a dream, son.
I am most definitely not converted. Irons, 100%. But no, look, I like to mix it up. I like to look well, you know. And look, blue's a nice colour. I was so surprised that when I come out, everyone was on to me about the shorts. I was like, I've just punched this geezer up. Not been it before round. His eyes out here, and everyone was talking to me about my colour shorts. I was like, what if I go and get a yellow pair next? Everyone going to say I'm a Norwich fan. I was like, come on.
There are some standards. We don't go over to Norwich. Apologies to any Norwich fans that might be watching international boxing news. But no, yeah, and I'm not looking forward to. I know you guys lost yesterday, but I'm not looking forward to today's game. So less said about football, the better as well. I mean, Finlay, we've breezed through my questions, mate. Have you got any final words for the fans who are eagerly anticipating your return on September the 7th, mate?
Look, come, grab a drink or two, sit down, enjoy yourself, and I'm sure it'll be lovely to watch me punch the cunt out of this geezer.
I've got a bit of bleeping to do on this interview. Finlay James, thank you very much, mate. Cheers. Always a pleasure.